Hi, welcome to the channel. This is Beyond Authentic Health and Beauty. My name's Lisa and today we are very much on the beauty side of things. I'm really excited to film today's video because it is my first monthly update for my team project Pam. Let's see how I've done this month. So if you don't know what a project pan is, I will link last month's video just up here where I launched the project pan. And this one is based very much on the hashtag Team Project Pan that the two women from Beauty News, Kat and Hayley, both started probably about 3-4 years ago now. This is a quarterly rolling project pan, and basically what that means is that you take one product from each of the various areas, each of the sort of makeup steps, and you continue to roll that project through until you use it up, basically. But every quarter, every 3 months, you get to swap out any items and put in a seasonal variant or something like that. So, you know, it might be that in winter you need a lighter bronzer than in summer, or you might need a different foundation or whatever. So that's what we do on the quarter. And then on the last quarter, we bring back any items that we haven't used and really go for it. Now, some people do project pans because they really want to test themselves on using certain makeup. Other people do project pans because literally, like me, they've got a huge collection of makeup that is slowly going over, and it's only going to get older and go off faster the longer it's sat in a collection. So I'm doing this for a couple of reasons. One, because of the size of my collection and I want to get some use out of my products, but also because I don't actually know how long it takes me to use up the makeup that I'm using. You know what I mean? I've got such a large collection that when you dip in and out of all these different bits, you just, like, you can have a concealer in there for months and months and years without even realizing. So basically this is going to give me a bit of a better insight into my actual makeup habits. What I'm wearing on my face today is the JSC Bloodlust palette on my eyes, 2 of the JSC purple lipsticks as well that I've blended together on my lips, and the mascara is the Ico Lash Alert that I've got in my collection. I'm not wearing any foundation or any other makeup today because this is actually the end of my filming day. I've already filmed, I've already done a live tarot stream today. So yeah, I'm about to take all this off and head to bed. Before I go any further, if you do hear any noises, any snoring or any other noises, I am filming in the lounge. As I say, it's quite late at night and the dogs now are in bed. But if you do hear them snoring, our babies have fur and 4 legs in this household. So sometimes there will be doggy noises in the background. That's just the way it is, unfortunately or fortunately. And I do completely understand if that is distracting for you. I have misophonia, and so for me it's mouth noises that are very triggering, or even the dogs grinding bones and things that just puts my nerves on end. So if you need to click off because of the sound of snoring or whatever in the background, then I do completely understand. All that being said, let's get on with today's video. So the items have all been weighed. I've used my little trusty scales that I got from Amazon. These weigh to within 100th of a gram. So yeah, I don't know what they're normally used for, possibly herbs or something. I don't know. But yeah, so I've got them on Amazon anyway. So then I'm going to go through it in the order that I have it written down. And this is the same order on that first video. So then the first item that I've got is the Smashbox Photo Finish Primer. Now this was a sample size. As you can see, this was full when I brought it into my Team Project Pan, and I've used it quite a few times. And I guess if you were to totally squeeze the product down, it's probably to about what, about there in the tube. Now this weighed in at 7.34 grams to start off with. It's now weighing in at 3.36 grams. So that is the difference of nearly 4 grams. And I've got to say, I actually really quite like this. It seems to work well with the foundations that I've got. It doesn't seem to leave my forehead lines looking too crevicey and too deep. So yeah, I'm gonna quite happily keep using this. And I do actually have 2 more of these little baby ones in the back room. So I'm thinking when this is used up, I might just roll in another sort of mini one. But yeah, so far I'm really happy with that. So foundation, I've got the Fit Me Ivory foundation, and this is the matte and poreless version, and this weighed in originally at 35.99 and it's now weighing in at 31.86 grams. So I've used what, just over 4 grams. I think that's pretty good. I've probably done my makeup about 4 or 5 days out of 7 this last month. And yeah, this has been perfectly fine. Sometimes I've mixed a little of this with the Dream Radiant liquid. But yeah, I really like it. It's a good foundation to use if I'm going out. It doesn't leave me too matte, especially with the setting spray as well. So it doesn't leave me too matte and too dry, but I do really quite like it. The next item is concealer. I've got the L'Oreal Age Perfect Concealer in the shade 01 Light. Now, this, when I originally weighed it in, was 16.06 grams. It's now weighing in at 15.34 grams. So I've used, what's that, about 0.7 of a gram. I have used this quite a bit. This has been the only concealer I've been using. I've used this, I would say, 95% of the times that I've worn foundation, because I do just like a little bit of extra sort of protection under my eyes. But actually, yeah, I'm quite, it's okay. It doesn't give me a massive amount of brightness because this shade is almost exactly the same as my foundation shade, actually. So I could maybe do with this being a little bit lighter for me personally, but it works. I'm happy with it. And again, that will be rolling forward. The next item is the loose powder. Now, this is the Revolution loose powder, and it's in theory light yellow, but this would have had a little bit of the translucent mixed in. Now, I don't know whether, hang on, I don't know how easy it is to see right in there, but there's very little left. When I actually kind of tap it down, it is just a little bit here left on the base. I don't know whether you can see that. And this actually weighed in, originally this weighed in at 61.13 grams, and now it's weighing in at 58.36 grams. But as I say, there's very little left in here at all, and I have used this every single time again I've done my foundation, whether that is just like pressing the concealer into place with a puff or whether I've just done it with a loose fluffy brush. I have used this. I do like it. I am quite missing my Beauty Bakery one, to be honest, because I do prefer that formula. But I do have another tub like this with some more in the back room, because I think I split the two. So once this one's used up, which isn't going to take me long, but before the end of the month, this will be completely empty. So I will roll another one in and weigh that when I roll that one in. So talking about the setting spray earlier, this is the So Dope setting spray. It's virtually, it's probably fairly low. In fact, should we have a look? I wonder if I can, oh no, I can't see. Oh, there's not a lot at all. It's possibly just there actually. So really, really low. And this one, when I weighed this in, I weighed it in at 67.04 grams originally. Now it's weighing in at 34.85. So I have used over 32 grams of this in the last month. I'm quite pleased with that. I do tend to set my face and set my eyeshadow with this, and I do really like it. I like the way it sits on my face. I think it's a really nice sort of fixing spray, setting spray type thing. And yeah, I'm going to be quite sad when that's actually used up. I might have to put that on the shopping list, because I know that it was in the sale on Revolution for a while, so it may be that they're going to stop making it. I don't know, but that's just the way that Revolution works, isn't it? So then, talking about Revolution items, I've got a Makeup Obsession item next. This is my bronzer, and this weighed in at 30 grams exactly to start off with, and now it's weighing in at 29.44. Now that doesn't sound a lot, but it's over half a gram of product, and considering you use such a small amount of this, because this is quite pigmented, and just kind of tap it into place, I'm actually quite happy with that. So for my contour shade, I'm using the Illamasqua Sculpting Powder Duo. This is in the shade Lumos and Heliopolis. Now this, I've done really well on this. Look, if I remember, I will try and find a photo from last month, or still from last month's video. So look at that. There was a pan on this one, probably that size last month. And now this is quite big, and here there was no pan at all. So technically I'm counting this as the contour shade, which is this one here, but I have been using this matte highlighter as well. And this weighed in originally at 67.03 grams. Now this is the biggest surprise, because there's a massive change there, but I have only used half a gram. It's now weighing in at 66.54. And yeah, look at that difference. So yeah, it just shows you how much of this weight is packaging. For powder blusher, I chose the MUA Blushed Blusher in the shade Rose Tea. Now this weighed in originally at 41.07 grams and it's now weighing in at 40.58. So again, about half a gram. Now it's really interesting that I used about half a gram on all of the various face products. So the bronzer, the contour and the blusher so far. So that's a really interesting amount to use across all of those products. This I quite like. It is quite pigmented, so I don't go too ham on it, but I do quite like it. My standalone highlighter, I've got the Revolution Glass Mirror Highlighter. This is in the this is the pinker of the two shades that they came out with. I am actually having a few problems with this. Now, if you look here, you can see there's quite a bit of scraping because this is really, really hard pressed. So there's sort of a hard pan issue going on. Now, that's probably why I've used so little of this. It weighed in originally at 59.31 grams and it's now weighing in at 59.16 grams. So I've used very, very, very little. What's that? 0.15 grams of this. And I think that's because it is so hard pressed and I've been using the other one because this is just really difficult to use. I am going to persevere. I might have to sort of smash it up and then put it back together again with the isopropyl alcohol and see whether that actually works. I'm a bit reticent because sometimes with highlighters, particularly some of the cheaper ones, you can find that it completely changes the formula. But I'm going to see how I go this month, and maybe in the third month of this quarter, I might have to do that. I might have to smash it up a bit. My eye primer is the Revolution Pro Eye Elements in the shade Core. This is a dupe for the MAC paint pot in the shade Painterly. Now, they've stopped making this, which shows you probably how old this is. Now, when I brought this into the project, I was a little bit concerned because the edge had kind of dried up, but I've actually been using it and using it and using it. And I think just the heat of my fingers dipping in every couple of days or so really has smoothed this out. And the formula now works really, really well. Now, it weighed in originally at 44.84 grams and it's now weighing in at 44.26 grams. Now, that might not sound like a lot of change, and it isn't, but you use such a small amount of this. You literally just tap it on your finger and tap it over both eyes. So you use a tiny, tiny, tiny amount. I've actually really been enjoying using this. I really have liked how it's helping my eyeshadow stick down and everything. And so, yeah, I think when this is actually fully used up, I am going to invest in the MAC version. I am going to invest in the original because I've really enjoyed using this again. For liquid eyeliner, I've got the Lacura liquid eyeliner in black. Now, you might be looking at this thinking, I don't remember that from last month. You'll be right, because last month I brought in the KVD tattoo liner, the little mini one that I had, or one of the mini ones that I've got. And yeah, I used that up and it completely went dry and I can't get any more out of it. So I brought this one in. I brought this in about 10 days, 2 weeks ago, and this first weighed in at 5.59 grams and it's now weighing in at 5.47 grams. So a little bit of usage. I don't know if that's kind of average. I'm not really entirely certain, but we will see how this goes in the month to come. Hopefully this doesn't run out mid-month. I did have another KVD liquid liner in my collection, but this was already open. And so rather than bringing in a new item that would be unopened and then this is slowly drying out, I thought I might as well just use this. I've got a few other eyeliners that I like, but this is very similar with that very similar tip to the KVD one. I actually really, really like this. And I don't think it was a lot of money. I think it might have only been like $4.99, $5.99, something like that. So yeah, I really like using that one and discovering more about that. So for pencil eyeliner, I've got the Autograph Black Kohl liner. Now I have used this a couple of times, even though it's still weighing in at exactly the same, 4.78 grams. So yeah, I obviously haven't used an awful lot. And obviously when you do, I mean, you can see this was a sharp point and now it is a little bit blunted, but obviously that's not enough to tip the scales, or possibly, I don't know. I don't know why it's weighing in the same. I have used it a couple of times. It's okay. It's a standard Kohl eyeliner. You can smudge it out quite happily. And yeah, I think this is worth the money for an M&S sort of special one? Probably not really, but it's in my collection, so that's why it's in the Team Project pan, just so that I can use it. So the mascara I've got in the project is the one on my eyes today. It's the Ico Lash Alert. Now I think this came from Rocketbox at the end of last year or something. I don't remember. This weighed in last month at 9.33 grams. It's now weighing 8.45. So we've gone down about 0.9 of a gram in a month, which I think is pretty good actually. I really like this mascara. There's a few clumping issues I'm noticing with it. So the way that I do it is to put one layer on and then do the other eye. And then without dipping back in, I will then wiggle it through. So it's all had a little chance to not fully dry, but then I will wiggle it through the lashes on both eyes and then dip back in. At least that's kind of what I've been trying to do, and that seems to deal with any clumping. But that second coat does really seem to separate the lashes really nicely. I know it's a strange thing to say, but I am really enjoying this mascara at the moment. So yeah, pleased that this is in the project. The next item is one that I've used virtually every day as well, and that is the Freedom Brow Duo. Now, I've really enjoyed using this actually, and I've used it, as I say, virtually every single day. And if you look at it, you can see just how much bigger this pan is getting. And I have used it, even though when it's weighed in, it started off at 16.83 and it's now weighing in at 16.74. So very, very minimal, 0.09 of a gram. However, I have used it a lot. So there must just be a fair amount of product and packaging here. Now, obviously for me, I don't actually have eyebrows. These are tattooed on because I've got alopecia. So it's not a product that I will, you know, comb through brows and all of that. I do just use it to go over my sort of tattooed brows when I'm wearing foundation, just to bring them back into prominence. But for now, I've probably got about 2 or 3 years, maybe. Seeing at the rate I'm using it, probably about 2 or 3 years. The next category is my lip liners. Now, I do have 2 in the project, and yeah, I've done reasonably well with these actually. Now, the Revolution one that I've got, the end, the little cap thing from that is actually stuck in the lid, because I put the lid on one day and then when I pulled it off, the cap got stuck. So it is in there, so it is still weighing the same, but you can see the difference in the size compared to last month. Now, the one thing I will say is I don't know whether it's just that this is really old, but I am now that I'm getting to this point, I'm really struggling with it, because every time I sharpen it, the tip is really, really crumbly, and it just, I can barely get one side of my top lip done before the tip just crumbles off. So that's probably why I've used so much. And that has gone from 7.3 grams to 6.13 grams. So I've used over, what, nearly 1.2 grams, which is quite a lot for such a small pencil. And I have also been using the Catrice one. Now this has gone from 6.62 grams to 6.02 grams. So again, I've used 0.6 of a gram. And this is, again, it's a really nice formula, but this is just a much, much softer pink. And I've sometimes ombre these together. I really like the shade of this Revolution one. This feels really nice on the lips. Once it's on, it doesn't feel too drying. And what I've been finding is that, especially going out with a mask on, this works really well. It doesn't survive eating and drinking. Not a lot of lipsticks do, but it is really good. Just if you're like nipping out, having a coffee, it will just about handle a coffee or maybe even a sandwich. So yeah, that I really do like. And the Catrice one's perfectly fine. It's a soft dusky pink lip. And yeah, I've been using those 2 together amongst other lip products, which we'll go on to in a second. Now for liquid lipstick, I've actually taken this item out of my Team Project pan for the moment, because what I found was I wasn't using it hardly at all. And then I had my Christmas present from Rufus turn up, which was a large amount of the lipstick bundles. So yeah, I took that one out because I wanted to try other shades and things like that. And it did seem a bit kind of hypocritical to keep it in the Team Project pan when I know that there was no way I was going to stick to that one shade. Also, Celebrity Skin is a very nude, muted shade, which is great if I'm just sort of wanting a no makeup day. But for anything else, a nude makeup every single day is not me. So yeah, I haven't used that an awful lot. So I took it out of the Team Project. I'm not putting a liquid lipstick in for now, but I will be filming my lipstick collection and declutter video at some point. And so I will talk about my liquid lipsticks. And if I find in there's a couple that I need to start using because they're either about to go over or they're just starting to age, then I might bring those into the Team Project pan, so possibly even mid-month. So yeah, we'll see how we go with that. The next lip item I've got is the JSC lip gloss. This weighed in originally at 31.14. It's now weighing in exactly 31 grams. So I've used 0.14 of a gram. I have used it a few times. I do really like it over the top of one of those lip pencils. It just kind of gives you a little bit of movement and a little bit of juiciness. So yeah, I have used it a few times. I don't use it all the time because, as I think I said in the original beginning of the Team Project pan, I don't like the feeling of a lot of gloss on my lips. So I tend to use it for a little bit, but then I'm not the sort of person that will reapply it several times during the day. So that's probably why I've used so little of it. But it's perfectly fine for what it is, a sparkly lip gloss. I like the fact that it's got like a slight pearlescence to it. So if you put it over a basic matte lip, It can kind of give it that slight sparkle. It's kind of got, it's really weird because it's almost got a holographic, but it's not holographic, but it is a color shift with a sort of pinky blue element to it. And then there is some other glitter in it that gives it like almost like a goldy shift. So depending on what you're wearing, it looks really, really flattering. So yeah, I've enjoyed using that one as well. The last of my lip items is the NARS little mini lipstick I've got in the shade Toledo or something. Now, it's fine. I have used it a couple of times. You're not really going to be able to tell, but I have used it a couple of times. But when it's weighed in, it's actually weighed in more than it did last time. So I don't know whether lipsticks can weigh more, and I don't know. I don't know how that works. But originally this weighed in at 11.62 and now it's weighing in at 11.64. So it's gone up 0.02 of a gram, even though I've used it. I mean, hey, you know, at this rate, it's a perpetual lipstick. I'll end up with this in 5 years' time. This will be a full-size one. That'd be good, wouldn't it? Right then. So the next 4 categories are double ups for some of the categories from before. I'll explain and you'll see as I go. So I've got a cream blush to go with the powder blush. So this is the Rimmel Royal Blush in the shade Majestic Pink. I have used this a few times. I don't know how to show you that it's been used, but there is actually a nice sort of divot in there now. It's not going to show up on camera at all, but I have been using it a few times. Now this weighed in originally at 17.47 grams and it's now weighing in at 16.68. So I've used a fair bit of it, considering it is a cream blush and I've got my powder blush, and you just dip in with your sponge. Now I've probably used more this month than I have done in the entire time that this has been in my collection. So I'm really pleased with this. And as I say, I'm quite enjoying using this one as well. The next of my double ups is another primer. This is the Revolution Ultra Face Base Primer. And this came in at 20.36 grams and it's now weighing in at 17.85. So I've used a fair whack of this as well, considering I've got the 2 primers. I really have used this. Now, I don't think this is going to last probably another 2 uses because there is hardly any left in here at all. I could kind of go and try and squirt it out, but as I'm holding it up to the light, I can't see any of the product in there, which means whatever's left will be right down here at the base, or possibly even in the sort of cap bit, just literally at this bottom bit here. So yeah, it's fine. It's very, very similar to the Photo Focus by Smashbox. So I probably would recommend this if you want that one, if that makes sense, because it's on my skin, it feels exactly the same and it seems to work exactly the same in terms of makeup longevity and things like that. So yeah, I would recommend this one if it's still available on Revolution's website, so do check it out. Next up, we have the double up for my foundation. This is the Maybelline Dream Radiant Foundation in the shade Ivory. Now this weighed in originally at 103.56 grams and it's now weighing in at 96.37. So I have used over 7 grams of this foundation as well. Personally, I think this is my favorite of the 2 because I really do like the finish for this. I can't see, like looking just here, there's really not a lot left at all, just to there. And I don't know whether this is one of those that I'm going to be able to take the top off to actually scrape out what's left. But if I can, I will. If not, I'm just going to use it until the very, very last pump. And I do have a backup of this ready to add into the project for next month. The last item on my Team Project Pan is the Mineral Magic Foundation. This is one of those sort of color correcting, does everything foundations. It's got the blue, purple, pink and yellow sort of balls in it, the little bits of pigment. It's fine. I haven't used it an awful lot, to be honest. My skin at the moment is doing really well, so with a little bit of moisturizer, I'm quite confident in how my skin looks. I don't get a lot of redness at the moment, so like today I haven't got anything on my skin, so I'm really kind of quite, there's probably a bit of glitter actually from my eyeshadow, so if you are seeing any glitter just sort of on my cheeks, I have tried to wipe it all off. But yeah, there's a bit of fallout for that. But anyway, this is really good if you're having a no makeup day and you are having a little bit of redness. A little bit of this sort of patted into place with a puff and then a quick bit of setting spray can just take that down enough so that you're not feeling like you're walking out the house like a Belisha beacon. But I've also got to say at the moment, because my skin is okay, I've kind of had to almost go, I don't really feel like I need a powder on top, but maybe I'll put a little bit of this on just because it's in my collection. So it's kind of having this really weird effect where I'm using it on days when I don't really feel like I need to. So I need to monitor that, because otherwise I'm using it just for the sake of using it. And I don't think that kind of really fits in with the purpose of this project. But anyway. So if you're doing a project pan, let me know down in the comment section how you've got on. How are you finding it? Are you finding it super easy, super restrictive? I've got to say I found it super useful actually doing this project, because having at least one of everything next to me when I've reached for my makeup, when I'm doing my face, I don't have to think, oh, what mascara do I need to use? What this, because it's all here, just grab it and go. So literally this normally lives next to me here in the lounge, and I'll come in, I'll sort the dogs out, and then I'll do a quick face or a very long face on my live streams, but that literally lives next to me now. So I found it really, really super useful for that. Now, if you're wondering about eyeshadows and skincare products and all of that, I am not including any skincare products in my team project pan, because if I put a link just up here, you will see that I've just sorted out my skincare routine, and I'm really enjoying what I'm doing, and I don't want to add in any pressure of use this up, use that up, use this really quick. My skin is currently doing really well with this new routine that I've got, so I'm going to stick to that. Likewise for eyeshadows, I will be talking about that in the video next week, because I do have an eyeshadow palette update that I will be talking about in that video, and basically what I've been using over the last month. I hope you enjoyed this video, or at least found it interesting. Do let me know your thoughts and feelings down in the comment section. If you have enjoyed it, please give it a massive thumbs up. That helps me out so much on YouTube. If you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button and then ding your bell so that YouTube notifies you each and every time I upload a video, which at the moment, with the live streams on this channel, is about 4 days a week of new content. So make sure you stick around for all of that. There's beauty content, Slimming World content. There's a live stream on a Wednesday evening at 7 p.m. where I literally come out of our Slimming World group, race home and do a live update to let you all know how the weigh-in went. And then on a Thursday morning at 11 a.m. UK time, I do coffee and makeup, where basically I drink coffee and shove makeup on my face. So if you fancy coming along to that, it is an interactive get ready with me. And what that means is the makeup that I end up using is down to all of you in the live chat. So if you want to dictate what goes on my face, make sure you come along to that. But that is it for me today. And as I always say, stay you, stay safe, stay authentic, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.